So Ben, I learned, I didn't see the show, but I heard that Ben was on tonight as Will. And, no, that was Ben. Oh, sorry, Ben, I'm sorry.
But I can act like I'm Will. It was great, you know.
How'd you do?
Mary Claire was fantastic. I was fantastic. It's one of my best shows. Mary's a great kisser.
Sorry.
No, please don't worry about it.
But I do want to ask about the audience reaction to the show. I mean, what's the sort of thing that's happening at the stage door with people? What kind of reactions are you getting from fans?
They all hate it. It's awful. No, I mean, tonight was a great example. I mean, I think, you know, you guys were incredibly exuberant, and I find that to be kind of, in general, the case. I mean, on average, everybody, you know, no matter who, I've said this before, but, you know, we have two different main types of people coming to see the show. We have theater fans, and then we have Green Day fans. And Green Day's just band, I'm not sure. And, you know, a lot of times at the stage door, people will be like, well, this is my first Broadway show. Or, God, I've never even heard of Green Day before. I mean, my dad was a great example. Like, my dad, he knew who Green Day was from me, but he had never heard their music. And it was, you know, he now owns, I think, every album. Like, I mean, like, you know, so we're making Green Day fans out of theater fans, and we're making theater fans out of Green Day fans, and it's like two groups of people that you never think exist in the same world, and thanks to Michael and Billy, they do.
Speaking of fathers, Alicia's dad surprised her the other day with a Green Day tattoo. A really, really big one.
Yeah. So casually, he was in town last week. Thank you. We were having lunch, and it was the day we did Monday Night Football, and we had a little bit of a break in the day. And he just was like, oh, by the way, and I literally thought it was like a decal. It took 10 minutes for me to touch it and realize that it was for real, and I just was floored. I don't really know why you're not going to be able to see it. I mean, it's the hard hand grenade. Can you see it? No, that's it.
And speaking of parents, that's the other thing that I would add, is that in addition to these two types of people that Ben's talking about, one thing that I've really noticed is that on the way out, there are so many parents who brought their kids here to see this, who will be very honest and say, I'll tell you what, I didn't think I was going to like this, but it was awesome. It was great. And that is so another wonderful thing to sort of change somebody else's perspective, who is bringing their kid here for their 13th birthday or something. It's really good.
7th birthday. A lot of really 13th.
Happy birthday! Well, did your parents like it? Great.
8 years old over here. Oh wow, amazing. It's incredible. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Kids, now you know what to look forward to. It's a wonderful life.
Actually, I remember with Michael's previous, or one of his previous shows, was Spring Awakening, which was... write a book about it, and one of the things that came up was that parents and children saw the show, and they talked afterwards, and it was very moving, because that show was very much about adults exploiting children and children rebelling in various ways. And in this, we don't really see any adults, do we? But I'm wondering if anyone's had the experience. I mean, you said that the parents and children are coming, but is this opening up any kind of dialogues between parents and children about the world they've created?
I think that I've certainly seen a conversation or two about drug use. I've seen a few parents like yanking some kids out up the aisle, and they didn't want to go. They see the syringe, and it's like, oh my God. They panic a little bit, but if the ones that stay, they see that there's actually a method to our madness in that regard. But I think that, by and large, it really isn't about a generational, disparity. It really isn't. The adults that are referred to in this play are absent. It's a very different world. They're not offering the resistance that the adults in Spring Awakening offered. It's not about that struggle. This is about people who should have individuated by this point anyway. And it is about becoming an adult as opposed to being a kid moving into adolescence.
I want to ask, to jump back a little bit, there was talk about how some Green Day fans were becoming Broadway fans, or Broadway fans becoming Green Day fans. I heard somewhere someone say that the show has had an effect on you, Billy Joe, in the sense that in the song Letter Bomb, when you're doing it in concert, you've added the words "wake up" to it. Is that true?
We weren't even playing Letter Bomb. We didn't play Letter Bomb. We would do the album from front to back. We did it like in 2004, 2005, a few times, but not a lot. But then this last tour, we ended up adding it, and I don't know, I was just doing it. I don't know, because Rebecca Jones is kind of a badass, so.
That sort of leads to another question, which is, of course, in American Idiot, women are singing your songs for the first time. What's that experience like?
A lot of, they sound better than I do. No, they're just beautiful singers, all around. And you don't really, because of the arrangements, you don't really know, because, me and Mike and Trey are a three-piece, and we tackle everything like, it's like we're fighting to be heard, I think that's been like, the main argument of our band is like us fighting to hear, it's like, no, I want to be louder, no, I want to be louder, and Trey's like, I'm gonna play over here, so, and then, and so it's, so you hear these arrangements with these women singing, and everything's almost like the music pulled back and the vocals up front, and I don't know, you just hear, it adds a whole new dimension to them, a whole new dynamic, and range, they could sing freaking dictionary, it's amazing.
I think we're going to open it up.